Access really started in 1996, and it was the Austin Collaborative of Cultural and Educational Sites and Schools, which is Access. The curriculum department of the Austin Independent School District decided to meet with the museum educators within Austin to begin thinking about collaborating with the museum curriculum and also the school curriculum so that we could bring the resources together so that more students would have opportunities for learning. The museums are such wonderful resources for education. And education always needs more resources. And to have these two meet and begin to discuss how these resources can be connected to the curriculum standards and be more aligned to what teachers are wanting to teach in their classrooms, this was really the main purpose of why we were meeting together, why we wanted to spend the time, why we wanted to work so hard to make this happen. And we're very excited what we're doing today because I think it shows that we're coming closer to what our initial idea was, to promote and facilitate opportunities for experiential learning, and we're connecting that directly to the curriculum. For instance, we're starting with science. We're doing solar lessons in the school.
Here is a solar panel.
We got a grant from the Department of Energy 2 years ago maybe to build a number of kits or sets of kits to be able to distribute to schools.
Children learn how to build a little solar car with a kit and then see how the solar panels work to reflect the sun and then take those cars outside and race them. It's a really fun activity.
Go.
We have gotten some traveling exhibits through Humanities Texas, and currently we have one called Citizens at Last, which is about women's suffrage.
I personally have to be able to look at something to really understand it, and I think that exhibit really helps me. It gives me a lot of information, and I'm sure other people a lot of information that they didn't know before, and that I think is really valuable.
I believe what's very important in this exhibit that's traveling is that children are able to visualize better American history. That idea that they can connect to the people in the picture, I think gives them more resources in their mind to be able to make the observation that women's suffrage was an important thing and people actually worked for the vote that women now have. One thing that we have done is worked with teachers to write curriculum for museums. For instance, at the Neil Cochran House Museum, a teacher in one of the schools created a beautiful curriculum with someone at the museum. Having that kind of collaboration where the museum person can bring in those resources and write them down and have a teacher and help evaluate the curriculum, then that can be disseminated to other teachers. So I think it's very important that both groups connect. We wanted to do some kind of professional development that would excite teachers about the exhibit at a museum and also have a hands-on experiential lesson that would go with it. So our art teacher on the board said, let's pick a museum that has an exhibit that we can create an artwork connected to it that teachers could make while they're there and then take it back to the classroom as an idea of a way to follow up. So we have this connection again to the teachers and to the exhibit and to making something in the classroom. Children go to a museum and it makes the learning much more real to a child.
There's a lot of things that are sort of special about this woman, Elizabeth Day.
And they begin to identify with it personally.
It's fun just going to museums and learning some new stuff every time you go, because even if you keep doing the exhibit again and again, you didn't see something last time that now you see again, so you always learn something new.
I started going to a museum when I was 6. I will never forget that experience, and I think those kinds of experiences when you're young really stick with you.
I learn from exhibits because I can actually see where the information is. It's not just somebody like telling them to me, like, oh, this is what happened. But then once I see it, then I'm like, oh, so I can gain more information from other details.
That's one thing museums do, is it creates a wonder for you. It enables you to start thinking, wow, what is that? Why do they have that here? Whether it be an art museum, a science museum, a history museum, there's always something to learn. Bringing the two together, the museum educators and the teachers, to provide this kind of collaboration is extremely important. And that's really the key to why we do what we do.